Over the last couple of videos, I've done some reaction stuff, some that have been sent to me, and I'm kind of noticing that's sort of the angle we're going to probably take with this podcast. As long as people keep sending me stuff. I got one the last episode from my buddy Rob reacting to some flat earthers being asked a simple question. And before that, I did a ghost video that I talked a little bit about. So I'm kind of being pigeonholed as being a debunker. And I'm really not. I am actually a believer in more so things of the UFO variety, but I also believe in at least the possibility of unexplained things. I don't willy-nilly say everything is a haunting or a Bigfoot or even a UFO. I've talked a lot on the audio podcast To Boldly Pod about how I'm more of a skeptical believer in a lot of things. And that being said, I've got two more videos of the paranormal variety that I want to talk about on this episode. The first one is from March of 2025 in Houston, Texas. And well, let's just watch it, and I'll stop along the way.
It's a fucking asteroid.
No, what's the sparkling?
Still going. It's still going.
As you can see, it's allegedly a hornet's nest UFO. Something massive in the sky. And for whatever reason, here where I stopped, they decided just to randomly cut away or pan away from whatever they're seeing. So the first inkling that I get that this is created is the fact that they panned away. If there was something that big right in front of me, I sure as hell wouldn't be panning away from it.
Disappeared. It just
No,
disappeared.
it's still there. Look at
It's still there. It's still there.
It's still there.
Okay, no, it didn't disappear. You cut away or panned away from it. And then when you said it reappeared, you cut back to whatever your scene is.
It's like sparkly. It's all the sparkly stuff right there.
That's amazing.
What is that sparkly
It
stuff?
freaking disappeared.
What is that?
What is that?
That's a UFO.
Insane.
That's a UFO.
Oh,
Now, is it me, or does all of the background reactions that you're hearing sound like they're inside a building at like a party or something like that with a bunch of little kids playing and all of that? Because I'm guessing that if there was a whole host of people watching or seeing something like this in the sky, there would be a lot more kind of scaredness in their voices. Maybe that's just me, but anyways.
What is that?
holy shit.
What is that?
Now over here, it's big and it blew apart.
You can still see it.
Oh my
Holy shit.
God.
Yeah, it almost, I want to say this has to be somebody making a home movie or a low budget movie or something, or they just made something and trying to make a video. Because, and if you know whatever this thing is supposed to be from a video game or movie, let me know in the comments. But I'm really not buying any of this. And I want you to pay close attention at the very end at the person filming's cell phone. I think that's sort of a giveaway.
Oh my gosh! Oh my God! What is that?
It's gonna land.
Get off YouTube. Get off YouTube. Look at all you jumping out of the hot tub. Look at all of them. Look at it. Oh my god.
Now you're about to see where we're getting somebody filming, and what we're allegedly seeing on the other camera should be showing up on the camera that's in the frame of this camera, but they don't really seem to match up. Okay, you see right there, the only thing it really has in common is it's red. And I know people out there are going to say, well, you're filming the screen, so it's going to be a little different. But are they doing that for perspective, or are there two people allegedly filming this and one person in the front is not getting the full scape? But you notice they have a clip on camera on top of their cell phone, so it should be a little higher quality. And they all start cheering at the very end of it. So, yeah, watching this one, my 100% BS meter went off without a doubt. But hey, maybe you know differently. Maybe you've seen a hornet's nest UFO like that before, if you have, or maybe if you know where this video was created for or the object came from, let me know in the comments. Okay, the next video that I have is, I guess, kind of a ghost video. And this has been prevalent for the past, 10, 15 years or so. People catching weird things on their doorbell cams. And I've actually captured something that I ended up, explaining on mine a few years ago that not unsurprisingly, some people, no matter I had an explanation for it, people refused to believe the explanation because they thought for sure what I captured was the phenomenon known as rods, which, depending on what side of the paranormal fence you tend to lean on, some say it's ghostly activity, some say it has something to do with UFOs, some say it's just atmospheric energy. Mine actually ended up turning up to be a bug flying through in the middle of the night, making this kind of weird formation. And my point of the whole story is the doorbell cams have become huge with paranormal activity, and we could do countless shows on things that are allegedly captured on doorbell cams. But this one's kind of interesting. It's from Red's Creepy Clips. And let's just take a look at it, and I'll talk about it along the way.
This video comes from the user Just Mandy. While she was away from home, she received a notification from her security camera. When she reviewed the footage, this is what she heard. Let's take a look.
Okay, before we start playing what she allegedly heard, and I'm not saying this because I have my security cameras pointed at weird places around my house too, but just in the backyard, maybe it's to keep an eye on animals or whatnot, but most people have them at entry points of their house, which is where I have mine, but I know other people don't either. Regardless, let us continue. Now, reading the comments of this video, that little let me in, which is creepy sounding, and then immediately you get the bug flying towards it. So it continues after the let me in. It's kind of weird that it sounded like they were whatever was scratching at the door before it started knocking at the door. That was weird. Now, you heard that, the let me in at the beginning, the scratching, then the knocking, then the let me in at the very end. It is kind of creepy, but like I talked about with the ghost video on the previous episode, that could so easily just be somebody outside of the camera making that noise, so where the microphone picks it up, but you can't see anybody. And they could be knocking on the side of the house for all we know. We don't know if they're knocking on the door. It is a creepy video. Is it proof of ghostly activity? No, not in the slightest. I would be more interested in seeing a camera angle facing the door at the same time, kind of synced up with that one. But, of course, the person allegedly had it just as their door cam. So, creepy video, yes. Proof of the paranormal? No, not really. But hey, maybe you have thoughts. Let me know in the comments. And I kind of just wanted to do this segment for people out there that might just think I'm another everyday debunker that's coming on and debunking all of the videos and possibilities of the paranormal. And like I said earlier, I'm actually a skeptical believer in some things of the paranormal. But I take more of a logical explanation. I look for an explanation before I label anything to be absolutely 100% paranormal. And if you've listened to Boldly Pod at all over the past 8 years, you know that for about 10 years, I ran a paranormal group here in Michigan called The Other Side of Life. And we did all sorts of investigations throughout Michigan and even a couple in Illinois. And we captured some very interesting things during our time of doing the ghost hunting. And there was one that was in northern Michigan at a bar that I still can't quite explain what we captured. And here's the thing about ghost hunting. You see the stuff on TV all the time, or if you watch the podcasts about it and everything, 99.9999999% of the time that you're doing a ghost hunt, there's absolutely nothing happening. You're just sitting in the dark. And that really puts you to the test to continue to do it, because ultimately it is extremely boring. And it's even more boring after the fact, because once you finish the investigations, more times than not, you have to go through and watch all the video you took and the audio, which could be hours and hours worth of each. And you have to watch it and listen to it to see if you captured something that you didn't notice at the time. And that really kind of, because you see the TV shows and stuff, and it just seems like everything happens in real time, and it really doesn't for the most part. It can, but it's extremely rare. Now, as I was saying, there was this investigation we were doing in northern Michigan at a bar, and the owner called us and said that his staff and he were experiencing all sorts of strange things happening in this bar. And we didn't capture anything on video, but we did capture a very interesting piece of audio. Now, I want to explain at the time, the entire group outside of me and the person that served as our host were the only two people in the bar. The rest of the group was out in the car taking a break because this was the middle of winter in Michigan, so it was extremely cold. They weren't exactly just going to sit outside and take a break. So they went into the cars to sort of warm up and whatnot. So the only two people in the building was the host and myself, and you'll hear us talking. Now, unfortunately, their cooler for their bar it had an issue with it. So it made a ton of noise. So we can't wipe out the cooler noise that it's making from this audio. But you'll hear in this clip myself and the host sitting at a table talking. And I actually thought I heard something. And you'll hear me ask her, "Did you just hear something?" And she's like, "No." And we kind of left it at that. It's when I was reviewing the audio the following day is when we picked this up. And like I said, it was just her and me in this bar at the time. And you can clearly tell that that voice wasn't her because she had talked just before that voice came up. I'll play it again and let you hear the whole clip. And I loop it a couple of times so everybody can hear the voice in totality. See, before I play the replays, you hear at the very end me actually saying, "Thought I heard something." Now, our group, after we found this on the review, we were kind of stuck as to what we think it is. It sounds like a sort of a distressed female voice. Most of us think it says either "I'm looking at you guys" or "Aw, look at you guys." So I'll play it one last time. Maybe you hear something different, or maybe you 100% don't think that we captured anything at all. So there you have it from one of our investigations way back in 2009, 16 years ago. It's crazy. But what do you think that voice is saying to me and the host? Because like I said, I thought I heard a voice at the time, and the first thing I actually did when I heard that. And unfortunately, we had the stand-up cameras pointing right at the bar, because that's where they said all the activity was happening, right at the bar. So nothing was pointing at me and the host at the time, and the cameras didn't pick anything up. But that's kind of where I heard the voice. But if there was a camera on me, you'd have seen me when I thought I heard the voice. I turned around to look to see if the group was coming back inside, and they weren't. They were still sitting in the car. So we don't know where that voice came from. But hey, let me know in the comments what you hear. And since I threw a couple reaction videos and did a whole lot of paranormal stuff in this episode, I figured why not take it easy, make it a fun little humorous ending to this episode with another segment we like to call The Kids Are Saying. It's exactly what you think it is. When we're all teenagers, we say words that our parents have no idea what we're even talking about. And my friend and I, she has teenage kids, and they have all of these words that she has no clue what they're even talking about. And today we will close shop with yet another one that she gave me. If I can bring my screen up here to read it. It's a word that we all know, and it's a word that we all just kind of associate with finality. The word is period, but they don't use it in the finality context, apparently. Period means kind of like boom. So I guess in a weird kind of way, it is a point of finality. So, and that's it, period. I guess. Kind of like we used to say, drop the mic. Period. Boom. End of story. I don't know. You let me know. Because, as we all know, nothing good ever happens until after dark. Period. I probably did that totally wrong.